Hi all. Let's wait for our food to get on before we get started. That's if anyone does. So I thought today we'd talk about a little bit about pastrami making. So if you've made corned beef before, similar process, well it's really the exact same process except for the cooking part of it, that's when you start to differ. That's the main differences between pastrami and corned beef is the end result when it gets down to cooking. Your corned beef is obviously boiled with a bit of, depending on where you are, a bit of onion, other spices, or I do hear some people put cabbage in it. With your pastrami though, your end result there is instead of boiling it, you're going to season it with a spice mix. Normally that's consistence of mustard, coriander, a bit of ground pepper, paprika, a bit of salt, and then you'll smoke or pop it in the oven. So what we've done so far is I've got these two in the brine at the moment. So to make that particular brine, what we've done is I've got roughly about 2.5 kilos of meat. So I'm actually using two different cuts today. I ran out of venison, so I went to the local supermarket. So what I've actually got is I've got a brisket and I've also got a blade roast. So two different types. Obviously the brisket's a little bit more fatty compared to the blade roast. There'll be different textures when it comes down to smoking it, which will be interesting. So to make the brine itself, so what we use is 4 litres of water. Now look, if you wanted to, you could use a pickling spice mix. A lot of supermarkets do already sell that pickling spice mix. Look, makes it a lot easier. You want 200 grams of kosher salt, 130 grams of brown sugar, a teaspoon of your cure number 1. Now with your pickling spice mix, if you don't want to buy it, you can make your own. Pretty easy sort of stuff to make. So you can use chili flakes. That's what I popped in this one. I popped chili flakes, peppercorn, mustard seed, coriander seeds, clove and mace. Hello, not so shabby, how are you? That's my wife for everyone that's watching there. She runs her own page as well, not so shabby. So the spice mix, so chili flakes, peppercorn, mustard seed, coriander seeds, and cloves and mace. So 2 teaspoons of each. So you pop that in a pot with 4 litres of water, along with your teaspoon of cure number 1. So that's the 6.25, I think it's nitrates in that one, and 200 grams of kosher salt, and also you want in there your brown sugar of 130 grams. So just get that. Warm it up gently on your oven, on your stove top, just so you can dissolve your salt and your sugar mix. So once all that's dissolved, just take that off and let that go to room temperature. Then when it's room temperature, you can either store your, pop your meat in there in a pot or move to a different container. So what I've done is obviously a different container. So just out. I have got clean hands, so don't worry. So as you can see, we've got that brine in there. The light's not the best, but you can actually start to see that it's changing colour already. So you'll notice the change, and that's from obviously the brine going in there. I started this one this morning. So that one's the blade roast. As you can see there, a little bit of fat on the sides. And then you get down to your brisket. And there's your brisket, a lot more fat in that one. So like I said, you'll get a lot of different textures once that goes into the smoker. So now that'll sit in the brine for about 4 to 5 days. That get good, get it all the way through the cure, all the way through your meat there with that one. Now, if you are using your gamey meats, you want to make sure that you've got all your silver skin off there, and that way you make sure that the brine and the cure actually penetrate right through, all the way through your meat. So once you've got in there as well, good thing is you'll start to see that obviously they'll float. So you want to weigh it down with something, whether it's just a saucer or a bowl of some kind. Just pop it in there, weigh it down, and that way you'll make sure that it's fully covered. Now it is a salty brine, so look, if you were to You could inject the brine into the meat itself, which would certainly cut down the time that you're going to need in your fridge with it. But again, you've got 200 grams of salt in there, so the end result might be a little bit extra salty. But at the moment, we're just going to let that one soak. So once your 4 to 5 days is up, rinse it off, and that's when you'll start to make you can make your pastrami mix, the seasoning go on top, or pre-bought one. But we'll touch base in about 4 to 5 days, and we'll go through the process of actually popping the spice mix on and giving it a rub down. All right, that's all I wanted to say tonight. Have a good one.